Okay, today I'm scouting some public land in Pennsylvania, and I hear guys ask questions about what do you do when there's sign all over the place. I'm finding beds, but there's beds everywhere. I'm finding trails. There seems to be trails all over the place. There seems to be a buck sign all over the place. How do you figure out that spot within a spot? This trail right here, there are trails like this all through here. I mean, going east, west, north, south. There are beds along the transition along this. There's some more open apple trees all through here, and there's beds on the edges of it all through here. And there is a couple primary scraping areas. One is down here that runs north-south, it's right along the creek, and then the other one goes right down through this pinch point and runs east-west. And the wind around here, for the most part, during the rut is going to be out of the west or the northwest, southwest, north, depending on the day. And what I really like about this spot is it's right on the bend in the creek, which I've talked about that before. I love hunting the bends in the creeks. And what that does is, right where this bend is, you have a funnel that runs along the creek with scrapes all down it that runs to the east-west. And then you have another funnel that runs down along the creek that's about 40 yards wide that runs north-south. So if you get that predominant wind, those bucks, those mature bucks, can travel with the wind in their nose down these scrape lines, down through these funnels. And you'd think, well, how am I going to hunt that? They're going to be able to smell me. Well, one of the considerations is your access. And I can access from the east, and I can cross the creek from the east and get in a tree right here off of this corner. That way, with the west wind, I'm definitely safe coming in with the wind in my face, and it's a crosswind going down the one scrape line, and it's straight nose wind to the deer coming the other way. But if you're on that creek, what usually happens is if you're right in a tree right along the edge of that creek, your scent should carry down along with that creek. As long as that scent is getting towards that water. And usually that is what's going to end up happening. So if you're right on the edge of the creek, you're good. Okay. Now the other thing is, well, you got trails going everywhere. I mean, there's trails all through here, and there's scrapes all through here. And you have to take my word for it because I'm filming this with my phone. I'm not editing nothing here, but there are definitely trails going every direction, beaten down. There's a lot of deer in here. So the other good thing about hunting along the edge of this creek is where this bend is, that's where the thickest stuff is in this creek. So there's 3 scrapes 30 yards away underneath those apple trees. And there's a big major trail that comes right down through here that the does are probably walking, or else the deer are doing during the daylight. But the bucks, I'm assuming, are taking this trail that comes right along the edge of the creek. It goes right through all these briars. It's thick as thieves in there. And once you get on the other side, you go right down through these briars. It's a little more open to this side of it, but if you stay along the creek where the thickest vegetation is, there's another scrape line about 40 yards down that way with a whole pile of scrapes. And I had cameras running on all these scrapes all year long, and mature bucks walked through here during daylight several times. Of course, not the days I was here, but I hunted it like 2 times. And I saw lots of deer, but I just didn't see the buck I wanted to shoot. I passed up a really good buck in here earlier, the first hunt. And anyhow, so if you put your stand along the edge of this creek, you got the access, they can't smell you, and it's the most likely spot that a mature buck's going to walk through here during daylight. So if you want to find the spot within a spot, just look for this type of situation. Look around, find your most likely travel corridor that the buck is going to take. Not the biggest trails that are beaten down the most, actually the trails that connect the scrapes that have the least amount of footwork on them are probably the trails that the bucks are going to use.